What expenses can qualify for VAT refund? In generally, the majority of business-related purchases will qualify. You just need to keep a valid VAT invoice or a receipt to support every expense that you claim. It's really very, very important. Particularly sole traders completely miss that, because many receipts are not issued with VAT as a standard. For instance, if you buy your goods in B&Q or Homebase, or yeah, let's stick to these two. They will not issue you with a receipt with the VAT pointed out. You have to ask for a VAT receipt. So the appropriate VAT rates and amounts have to be listed on the receipt and on the invoice for it to be valid. What are the exceptions? So some of the expenses will not qualify for a VAT refund. For instance, food, drink, or other personal expenses for you or your employees. Accommodation, except for certain qualifying conferences. Entertainment expenses. Passenger motor vehicles. And petrol. Only VAT on diesel fuel can be reclaimed. That's quite a strange thing, but this is the case in Ireland. Okay, so that was everything. So I think that was quite a lot to digest. So we just went through, we covered a lot of important aspects today. So I just want to summarize quickly what we have gone through, just to create a certain picture in your mind. Obviously, you will be able to go back to this presentation, to the recording, and refresh everything in your mind, but I just want to summarize. So we started with the discussion with pointing out the differences between trading as a limited company and a sole trader. We talked about pre-trading expenses that you can reclaim up to 3 years before you start trading. I talked about 5 most important tips and factors to consider if you are starting as a sole trader. Then we talked about what is an income tax return in case of sole traders and not only, and what are the most important deadlines and things you need to remember before you file. Then we talked about tips and most important things you need to know when starting a limited company. There were 7 of them. And also we talked in more detail about company directors, who can be a director, what are their responsibilities and filing obligations. And finally, we talked a little bit about VAT registration, when you have to register and that you can choose to register. So it's time for a conclusion. I just want to share this quote with you. Don't let someone who gave up on their dreams talk you out of yours. I think there is nothing more to add here. So if you have this dream, don't hesitate, don't listen to the ones who try to discourage you. Go for it, take the information, take what you have learned today with you and make good use of it. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to send a recording of this webinar to everyone who attended. You will be able to keep it as your reference and come back to it whenever you want, just to refresh things in your mind. Please keep an eye on emails from me and announcements on social media. I encourage you to follow my social media profiles because I will be providing more information and support for small business owners.